Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to Parables and Purpose Podcast. Hello and welcome to Parables and Purpose. I'm Janae Humphrey and I'm delighted to join you this week as we navigate the topic of singleness. May you be encouraged and challenged to live out your purpose. I'm excited to introduce my friend Lakeisha Dixon Jones to the podcast. She is a coach and baker that helps to transform lives through her encouragement and godly wisdom. You can follow her on Instagram at Savory and Sweet Treats ATL. Lakeisha, welcome to Parables and Purpose.
Thank you so much, Janae. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Awesome. I'm excited too. So, Lakeisha, I have been so encouraged watching your journey from singleness to marriage and seeing how God continues to use your story to bless so many. Would you mind just sharing your story as it relates to your journey with singleness?
Ooh. Well, singleness for me was a little difficult because I didn't date. So I wasn't a dater per se, because my life was just dedicated to doing the work of the Lord, praying. I was over a singles ministry, and I also was afraid to date because I related dating to sex. And so that was one of my biggest fears, one of my biggest challenges, because as you grow up, you always hear, hey, don't go to hell for a piece of tail, make sure you keep your legs closed. So I was so fearful to date that I didn't really start dating until my mid-30s.
Wow.
I didn't start dating until my mid-30s. And the challenge for me was watching so many people go before me. And you celebrate people that's going before you, but at one point, I was, still a virgin at this time, and I thought that my virginity was my prized possession. Like that, I held on to my virginity. I didn't have sex. God surely got a husband for me. It should be guaranteed. But that wasn't the case in this situation that I was in. And so I had to really go on the journey to rediscover me at the age of 40. Because I was like, where's my husband? I don't got all these brides down the aisle, and we don't had all these baby showers, bridal showers. When is my time coming next? And so it was difficult, but I just believe that 40, it really hit me like, hey girl, you single, you don't got no man, what's going on. And so I rediscovered myself and rediscovered my relationship with God moving into that 40 stage.
Wow, that is incredible. And I know that there are so many who can relate to that. Like, Lord, where is my man? When you're getting through your 20s, then your 30s, and then you're encroaching on 40. It's like, what in the world? So, man, that is incredible. So for that time in your life, what did trusting God look like in that season?
Wow, I was discouraged. So by the time I was like 38, 39, I was discouraged. And God had me to write a book called Sexual Purity Exposed. And in that book, I talked about my journey of being sick and tired of being a virgin. I was like, we already got a 40-year-old virgin movie. I'm not trying to, make any more points. But I really was getting frustrated with being single, because typically we are taught to, hey, when you grow up, you're going to get a husband, you're going to go to school, for some of those who went to college, and then this is supposed to happen. So the expectation is, I don't want to be single. I want to be with someone, right? And there was times where I really had to tell myself, why did I want to get married, right? Because did I want to get married because I was horny? Or did I want to get married because I really desired covenant? That was the place for me to really be honest with myself, because I started noticing that as I began to mature in age, my body started changing. My body was like, okay, girl, we desire a man, but these are some other desires your body is having that normally you wouldn't have had in your 20s. And so my journey was frustrating. I was like, I need to go on a journey because I need to see what's up with me. And what God showed me is that you have met great men, but you were so judgy. Because the older you get, the more judgy you become. And so I started judging people, like, oh, he didn't say his grace, or he not talking about God, or he didn't ask me to pray with me before we got off the phone. And I was like, out of here, you got to get out of here, I don't want to talk to you no more. So I was being judgy, and God told me I didn't know how to develop real friendships, and I didn't know how to have grown, mature conversations with the man, because I was so single for so long. I knew I had mastered, quote unquote, keeping my legs closed, but I didn't master how to have conversations with the man, how to build a friendship. And so it kept me at a delay.
Wow.
And so God had to teach me some things, that it's okay to go out. It's okay to have conversations, and everything doesn't revolve around the Bible. When we going to pray, you're going to come to my church. Everything don't have to be revolved around it, especially moving into my 40s. It was like, girl, you're a grown woman. You are 40 years old. What else can your conversation be? Can it be about character? Can it be about, hey, what are your goals? What are your likes and dislikes? But everything was centered around, you got to look like this. You got to be praying. You got to say your grace. You got to do all these things. And I was just leaving men because they wasn't doing simple things such as talking about the Lord all the time.
Wow. Well, I know, being a person raised in the church, and you have all these standards of perfection, really.
Yes.
And it sounds like the Lord really walked you through a season of, don't look for perfection. Keep your eyes on me.
Yes.
Trust in me, despite what you may see, and I'll lead you.
Right. Because sometimes we think that we're perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the Christian girl. Well, I'm the perfect Patty. You're just some person who's just getting by, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to stop thinking that I was perfect, because again, I had this, I'm the virgin,
right.
I'm the one that kept my legs closed, so you got to follow my rules. And God had to show me those areas of pride that I had to strip away from me, the areas of ego. Like, girl, you think that just because you're a virgin, it guarantees you certain things, and you're not extending grace.
Wow.
And so, I learned a lot on that journey with the Lord, because the journey was not for me to get a husband. The journey was for me to know myself. Like, show me, Lord.
Yeah.
Show me some things I need to work on, because I started noticing my judgmental mentality really kicking forth as the older I got, because I felt like, well, it's not fair that this person got married because they weren't a virgin, because you have really held on to this quote unquote title and this thing that you have, and sometimes it clouded your judgment.
Yeah, it sounds like an identity crisis, right? Like, you are identifying yourself by your works versus who God made you to be.
Right.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And God said that never guaranteed you no husband.
No, it didn't.
It helped you along the way. But that was never guaranteed. That's not biblical.
Yeah.
And so, it was a lot of things God showed me about me, but it was so amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Yeah. So walking through this journey, and now being a married woman, praise God, He sent your husband to you. What advice do you have for others who are desiring marriage?
One of the things that I would say for especially the Christian woman who desires marriage is, one, extend grace. Have conversations with the individual before you cut them out, because they're not at your level or standard of prayer and how you speak in tongues and worship. One of the best advice I got from one of my girlfriends, her husband, he told me, he said, well, I'm not like you when, you and your friend, y'all just be speaking in tongues and hollering all around the place, but I have good character and I love the Lord. And so just really, I would tell that woman to really extend grace, get to know herself, get to know what she likes and what she don't like, and also have a heart of servitude, right? Yeah. I feel like if you don't have a heart of servitude, it's going to be hard to serve somebody else. And the expectation sometimes as a Christian, just all the years of coaching, all the years of watching other single Christian women, some of the things that we build up in our head are these fairy tale scenarios. And so what happens when it doesn't look like that, this can't possibly be God. So just really giving yourself grace, I do believe now strongly still dating with your legs closed,
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
still save you. It save you a lot of hurt. You bypass a lot of things. It's like the cloudiness is not there. But give yourself grace and date. I
Yeah.
would say date. I would say if I had to go back and do it again, I would have started dating early on in life. I would have known that I can be a Christian woman, but still have fun and date.
Yeah.
That's what I would encourage that woman. Date, live life, get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Really important.
Yeah, that is so good. Lakeisha, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know that was so encouraging for those who are just maybe feeling stuck, like I don't know what to do to move forward, but I have this desire in my heart. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I do want to add this, Janae, too, that I met my husband not the conventional way of people think how you can meet your husband. He wasn't at my church. He wasn't in the grocery store. I met him online.
Come on.
I met him online. So I think sometimes we have to open up some other avenues of meeting people, especially, if you know that you a person who live in a house, like I just want to be in my house under the covers or watching the ID channel like me. That was me, ID channel all day. But I think that being open to other opportunities, being open to meet him the unconventional way. It may not be at the church or a church conference. It may very well be at a gas station. Very well may, like me, be on the internet. May very well just be through a meetup. But really give yourself a chance to open up your heart to receive love.
Yeah, that is so powerful. Yeah. Thank you again so much for sharing. And for those of you who are listening today and you may feel like you want to be married, or maybe you are content living a life of singleness, the main thing is that we should seek to honor God with our lives. Psalm 37 verses 3-4 says, "Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." So I encourage you guys, don't look to the left, don't look to the right, but keep your focus and your trust in your Creator, Jesus. Lord, I thank you for every listener of today's podcast. I ask that you bless them abundantly above all that they can ask or think. Give them courage to pursue more of you each and every day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you so much for tuning in to Parables in Purpose. You can also find us on Instagram at Parables in Purpose. Be sure to follow us and to invite your friends to tune in.